You didn't lose because you weren't smart enough. You didn't fail because you lacked talent. You lost control of one thing. One invisible force, and it burned everything you built. Not your enemy, not bad luck, not the economy. You. One uncontrolled emotion destroyed what took you years to construct in a single moment. And the worst part? Most men never figure this out. They blame circumstances. They blame other people. They keep rebuilding with the same unstable foundation, and they keep watching everything collapse. But the man who masters this, the man who learns to control this single force inside him, he becomes something different, something rare, something most people only read about in history books. He becomes unstoppable. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you changed how the greatest leaders, warriors, and kings in history operated. And once you understand it, you will never be the same. Before we talk about mastery, we have to talk about the enemy. There is one emotion, one psychological force, that has derailed more careers, destroyed more relationships, shattered more opportunities, and silenced more potential than failure ever could. It's not sadness, it's not fear, it's not grief. It's uncontrolled anger, reactive emotion, the impulse that fires before your mind can stop it. Psychologists call it emotional hijacking. Your rational brain goes offline. The primal, reactive brain takes the wheel. And in that window, sometimes only 3 seconds long, you say the wrong thing, make the wrong move, or lose the wrong person. Think about the most painful moments of your life. Not the failures that came from bad luck, the ones that came from you. The words you said that you can't unsay, the bridge you burned, the opportunity you walked away from out of pride. That was emotional hijacking, and it cost you more than you even know. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, military commander, philosopher. Marcus Aurelius knew something that modern men still haven't learned. The man who cannot govern himself will always be governed by others. Here's what no one tells you about power. Real power is not loud. Real power does not react. Real power does not need to prove itself in the moment. When you see a man who loses his temper in a meeting, who snaps at people below him, who sends that angry message at midnight, you are not watching a powerful man. You are watching a man being controlled by forces he cannot see. The man who stays calm when everything is burning. That is the most dangerous man in the room. History proves this. Study every great general, every legendary CEO, every man who built an empire, and you will find the same trait, the ability to feel emotion without being consumed by it. Theodore Roosevelt, one of the most aggressive and competitive leaders in American history, kept a journal every single day, not to record events, but to process his emotions in private, so they would never control him in public. This is the Sigma principle, not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. You feel everything. You show only what serves you. When you master emotional control, something shifts. People around you change. They stop trying to push your buttons. They stop testing you, because they realize you cannot be moved. And a man who cannot be moved cannot be defeated. Scientists discovered something remarkable about the human brain. Between the moment a trigger hits you and the moment you act, there is a 3-second window. In that window, you have a choice. Most men don't know that window exists, so they react instantly, automatically, like a machine being operated by someone else. But the man who trains himself, the man who practices the pause, he lives inside that window. He owns it. And in those 3 seconds, he decides what version of himself the world gets to see. Here is the practice. 3 steps. Burn them into your mind. Step 1. Identify. The moment you feel that heat rising, that tightening in the chest, the urge to respond, name it. Say it internally. This is anger. This is fear. This is ego. Naming the emotion immediately creates distance between you and it. Step 2. Breathe. Not the shallow, quick breath of panic. A slow, deliberate inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. This single act shifts your nervous system out of fight or flight and back into strategic thinking. Step 3. Choose. Now ask yourself one question. What does the highest version of me do right now? Not the reactive you, not the wounded you, the architect, the man you are becoming. This is not weakness. This is not passivity. This is the discipline that separates the man who reacts from the man who leads. Do this every single day, in small moments, and within 90 days, you will be unrecognizable. Let's be specific, because this is not philosophy, this is strategy. When you master your emotional responses, 6 things happen simultaneously in your life. 1. Your decisions improve dramatically. Every bad financial decision, every career mistake, every relationship error has an emotion underneath it. Remove the reactive emotion, and your clarity of judgment doubles overnight. 2. People start respecting you differently. There is a silent signal that emotionally controlled men send out. People feel it. They trust you more. They follow you more. Because they know you won't break under pressure. Your enemies lose their power over you. The person who wants to provoke you, manipulate you, destabilize you. They need your reaction to win. When you deny them that reaction, you defeat them completely without saying a single word. 4. Your relationships deepen. Emotional discipline doesn't mean shutting people out. It means you can be present without being reactive. You can hear hard things without breaking. You become a safe harbor in a world of storms. 5. Your self-respect skyrockets. Every time you choose control over reaction, you send a message to your own subconscious. I am the one in charge. Repeat this enough, and your entire self-image transforms. 6. You stop bleeding energy. Reactive men are exhausted. They're constantly fighting fires they started themselves. Controlled men preserve their energy for what matters. They're strategic, focused, efficient, formidable. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. Mastering emotion is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice, a craft. And like any craft, it requires consistent work in small, deliberate moments. Here is the system that the most disciplined men in history have used, whether they called it Stoicism, Samurai Code, or just personal philosophy. Morning anchoring. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, spend 5 minutes in silence. Visualize the day ahead. Identify the situations that might trigger you. Mentally rehearse responding with control. You are programming your nervous system before the world gets to it. The journal. At the end of every day, ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I react instead of respond today? What emotion was driving it? What would the stronger version of me have done? This is not self-criticism. This is engineering. You are finding the cracks and sealing them. The cold standard. Find one situation every day. One interaction, one frustration, one moment of pressure. And practice the pause, deliberately, over and over. Build that 3-second window into a wall of steel. The silence practice. When you feel the urge to defend yourself, justify yourself, or argue, try saying nothing. Not forever. Just in that moment. Watch what happens. Watch how much power that silence holds. Watch how the room shifts. This is the Sigma path. Not isolation, not coldness, mastery, precision, the ability to be fully human, fully feeling, and fully in command. Here is what I want you to understand before this video ends. The world is filled with talented men who never made it, brilliant men who self-destructed, gifted men who let one bad moment define their entire story. The gap between the man who almost made it and the man who became legendary is almost never intelligence, almost never talent. It is self-command. The ability to look into the fire and not burn. To hear something that cuts you and not bleed in public. To want to explode and choose instead to build. That is the discipline that creates leaders. That is the standard that separates the powerful from the powerless. And here is the truth that most men never face. The hardest battle you will ever fight is not out there, in the market, in the competition, in the world. It is in here, inside your own mind, against your own reactions. Win that battle, and every other battle becomes easier. Because the man who masters himself masters everything. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. If this video hit different, if you felt something, share it with one man who needs to hear it. Leave a comment with one word that describes your current emotional discipline. Because the journey starts now, and you already know, you were built for this.